one thing I have great peace about between me, God, and my wife is that I was the best husband I could possibly be, and if I went to do it over again, I don't think I could have done any better. And so because of that, in the midst of all this war and chaos, I have great peace in that area. I've been asked first why I spoke that Sunday morning, why I would get up and preach after my wife passed away the night before, or the day before. And I don't know if anyone has ever taken any psychology classes that could help me understand exactly what I should have done. You know, you spend 7 years trying to keep somebody alive with medicine, and their family convinces them to stop taking the medicine, and so then you spend 3 months every single day for 3 months doing whatever you can to keep her alive, whether it's going to family, friends, her pastor, her counselor, policemen, judges, doctors. I did everything I could, lawyers, whatever I could to get her medicine and help her take it. And she would not take her medicine because her family didn't want her to. And so in that moment when I got the phone call, it was late Saturday night, I felt like the world's biggest failure. My life is, as I knew it was over completely, and my worst fear had come upon me. And 10 hours later, I was supposed to preach, and I didn't know what the right thing to do was. I didn't know if I stay at home, I might kill myself. If I sit at home by myself, I might be depressed. If I go off with a friend, what do I do? Do I go to a bar and drink? I don't know. Do I get on my knees and pray to God? You know, like, what exactly am I supposed to do? And so I went with my natural instinct was just to get up and work. And if Micah were there, she would have wanted me to do that with all of her heart. And so I just went with what was natural, and I preached. And at the end, I made the announcement. I don't know the right way to make an announcement like that. I don't know what you're supposed to say, what you're not supposed to say. If I could go back and do it again, I guess I would have asked more people how I should announce it. I said what I said because I didn't want anyone to speak negatively about her or anything in my presence. That's the reason I told them to please be quiet. Go talk to Jesus about it, and then, you know, process it with Jesus and then discuss it. Because usually our first instinct on things isn't the best. And I didn't know any other way to say it. I feel like no matter what I said, it would have been criticized in some way or another. Why did my wife take her own life? Well, the last time I saw her, she said a lot of things. One of the last things she said to me was, she says, I want to come home, but my family won't let me. And I said, well, maybe you can come home. She said, nope, they'll never talk to me again if I come home. If I take my medicine, my dad will be disappointed in me. I said, baby, who cares about any of them? What do you think God wants you to do? And when I said that, she showed me this book she was reading called I Love Jesus, But I Want to Die. And I said to her, why do you want to die? She said, I want to die because I can't come home, sleep in my bed. And she said, I want to do that, and being away makes me want to die. What happens is she gets this thought, and the thought stays in her mind, but her mood changes. It's a very unusual thing with schizophrenia, bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 altogether. And so when she gets to this point of like suicidal, she gets to a euphoric state and thinks, well, this is a great idea. That's why, if you look at the Dick's Pawn Shop video, she's smiling. So if it helps anyone with, you know, thinking she was hurt or depressed or this was her only way out, that wasn't her thought. She was in the euphoric state thinking, this is what I'm supposed to do. It's a great idea. You know, it's a good thing. And that's why when she called 911, it sounded like she was ordering a pizza, because she wasn't, you know, in great fear or torment or I'm so depressed and all these kind of things. So my thought is, a few weeks before when we got together and she was talking about how she wanted to die because she can't come home because her family won't let her, that mindset, I believe, stayed with her until her schizophrenia, you know, kicked in and said, well, you should just, you know, harm yourself. And that's what happened. So on February the 6th, 5th or 6th, we were madly in love, and she left me voicemails of how much she loves me. I'm the greatest husband in the world. She went to her doctor's office, and her doctor called me and said she's having a schizophrenic episode. You need to get her to the hospital. And I said, I can't, she won't go with me. And the doctor said, well, I'm going to call the sheriff and have him pick her up. And she filled out this paperwork that says she's suicidal, delusional, you know, psychotic. And I sent it to her family, and I said, hey, she's sick and she needs to go to the hospital like she has many times before. why don't y'all, just pray with her over the phone, maybe come give her a hug right before they pick her up, something like that. Oh, the question is, did I ever hit or harm Micah? So not once, ever in any way was she harmed by me or hit by me, ever. One time in Disneyland, I think I knocked a drink that she was holding off, but that's the closest we ever come. Now, when she's off her meds, she's knocked the crap out of me a few times. Chipped my tooth, busted my nose, hit me so hard in my ear it rang for 6 hours and I lost hearing. But that's when she's off meds. That's when, and you just take care. It's like an autistic child. When someone you love can't control themselves, you don't really know what to do. Do you hug them really hard and prevent them from moving their hands? Do you run in the other room? For me, I would just kind of run away. I'd leave the house, or I'd go lock myself in a room and try to talk her into understanding what's going on and who I am. And she has never been harmed by me in any way, ever at all. She has only been loved and cared for, I think, better than any man on earth could have ever loved and cared for a woman. The goal was for her to take her medicine, and the goal was also to prevent her from getting a gun. And so having the tracker by the PI was like, it could help us prevent the gun, but if she keeps getting upset, so she's not going to trust us and take her medicine, and so we didn't know what to do. And so I was just encouraged by my spiritual advisor to stop doing the private eye. I was finding her following me a lot before she passed. And I would videotape different times. I was at a gas station once, and I look over, and she's driving a different car, hiding in a car, videotaping me and stuff. And she would think two things that, there are many things, but two things that were always consistent whenever she came off her meds is she would use the word paper trail, and she would use the word double agent. And she would think that I was a double agent from England many times, and she would need a paper trail to prove who she is and to prove who I am. Micah's death took off like it did nationally on social media because America, at least most of America, the ones that have the loudest voices are usually people that like Jerry Springer show. And Micah's family is the epitome of the Jerry Springer show. The people who were saying justice for Micah are raising money for the people who caused Micah's death. They're using the money to sue the man who kept her alive for 7 years and did everything he could to help her, and his church. I don't even get that. I don't understand it. I need somebody to explain that to me. All I can think of is there's evil in the world. That's all. That's the only answer I have is that Satan is at work in the world.